Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Welcome in, Poninator, Misfit, Quishy. Welcome, guys. All right. I have a thing I need to do. Just about ready. Sorry, guys. Okay. Grab some dinner and keep on painting. Nice. Well, we're going to be painting today. That's what's going to happen. I hope you guys are cool with that. But let's get started. Let's get in here. All right, we have this. Let's zoom out just a little bit. This lovely wood elf. It's a wood elf spell singer, is what this mini is called. And she's a wizard, and she's floating up in the air off some branches and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna work on painting this mini. That's what we're gonna do. So it sounds like fun, and I'm going to have fun doing it. But I want to talk about Warhammer Total War, or Total War Warhammer 40k, if you guys will allow me. While we paint today, I know I've been playing some Total War Warhammer, and we have briefly talked a little bit about what's coming with the game, but I want to be able to talk about, like, you know, as someone who has played Total War games for the past 25 years, and also as someone who has maybe up to a couple thousand hours in Total War Warhammer, I feel like I have some pretty decent grasp on what to expect for the game, and some thoughts on how they'll do some things, and maybe what I want them to do, but more so what I think will happen. So I would love to talk about that, and also some, you know, up-to-date information. We've gotten a lot of good info on the game past week or so, but they're kind of done giving out info until the spring of next year, which is unfortunate, but we can talk about all the stuff they have. So that's what I would like to do. I think that sounds like fun, talking about Total War through the day. I did finish the Tamarcon campaign yesterday, so we got the short victory yesterday, which was pretty satisfying. I think, honestly, the only reason it took as long as it did is because I didn't actually know what the victory conditions were, and I didn't bother to look them up until it was Sunday night or yesterday when we did that. So I was like, oh yeah, I can win this pretty quickly, and so we decided to win it, and get rid of the plague. It's kind of where we sat. Excited to play bold action. Yeah, nice. How are you guys doing this morning? Anybody got anything exciting going on? You guys making good holiday plans? Hopefully no bad holiday plans. This is not a commission. This is my miniature. I believe I have some old Wood Elf minis back from 2005 or 2006, whenever this book came out. I think it was 2006 when these came out, but I could be wrong about that. But I got some minis from here. I did not get this mini. I always wanted more Wood Elves, but they were metal and expensive, so I never did buy more Wood Elves. But this mini, I believe it was Killa Cam who bought this mini a while ago, and then a few years ago he actually just gave it to me to have, And so I did at one point make an attempt to paint it. I just kind of started it and didn't finish it. And so I decided to strip the mini and start over. See if I could do a little better this time. But yeah, suffered a severe betrayal. Betrayal of the most heinous sort. Betrayal by a delicious burrito, which sat on my stomach like a boulder all night. Oh, that's too bad. That stinks. Sign of getting older, John Lockridge, is what that is. I don't know. That's too bad, though. Betrayal by burrito. Get out a smaller brush here. Good morning, Raja. How you doing? Steak, ham, bacon wrapped in a tortilla and covered in cheese sauce. I'm thinking about right now. It still sounds good. Yeah. Dunder Snuff, good morning. This mini is a Wood Elf Spellsinger. And this is a mini for, I guess it's the Wood Elf realms in the old world. Is where this mini belongs. But I've had this mini for a little while. Tried to paint it once. Got like halfway done and didn't like it, so I'm deciding to try to paint it again. This is an old sculpt. This sculpt is maybe from 2005 or 2006. Hey, Dunder, thank you for this sub. 4 months. It's crazy. It's gone by quick. Still shaking? Or are you still shaking? Hey, what's up, Zen? A very aggressive and agitated lawyer. Oh. Tell him to shove it. Or whatever. That's too bad. Hope you guys are ready. You guys want to talk about some Total War 40k? Let's talk about it. You guys ready? I am going to completely destroy my voice today talking about it. I am like almost completely recovered, but my voice still hurts a bit. So if I'm sounding scratchy or taking a lot of breaks, that's probably why. But jump through. I want to jump through the screen, scream at him. Yeah. Play Magic, proxy deck, or playing a proxy deck worth $1,000. Dang. That's cool. So, this old Total War game announced on, was that Thursday night? I am still kind of hyper geeked out about it. I took a pre-constructed deck and upgraded a little bit, so it should be fun. Okay, cool. Very cool. Good luck with that. I hope it doesn't work too well, because then you're going to want to buy all the things if you're just like, wow, this deck is really good. You just buy the things. But, so I'm curious your guys' thoughts, if we can dig into what are your thoughts on Total War 40K? I've heard a lot of different stuff, and I've seen plenty of comments of like, this is the greatest thing ever, and followed by, this is the worst thing ever, and, you know, everywhere in between. But I have played every Total War game. I think there's one that I didn't play. But I've been playing Total War games for 25 years. So I have played, yes, their first game was Shogun Total War. Then it was Medieval, then Rome, Medieval 2. And then what was it? Empire, Shogun 2, Rome 2, Attila, Warhammer, Three Kingdoms, and then a ton of other games in between, the little saga games and stuff that they made. But there's a lot. And what I have seen from... See, I never played Three Kingdoms. I heard it was really good. The style never appealed to me too much. Like, the battles always seemed a lot more like smaller scale, which was strange to me with like a game focused in like the Three Kingdoms period, when it's just like armies of hundreds of thousands of people. But you know, that's just kind of like personal preference, where like the style was just kind of not there. So yeah, the 4K format, you know, Raja, was interesting. They talked about how the game works. A typical Total War game, it's a bit of a 4X, and then it has like a real-time strategy element. But the 4X is empire building. You focus on, you know, expanding out the map. You capture cities. The cities allow you to, you know, you build the buildings in the cities and the infrastructure, and that allows you to, you know, earn money and train new types of troops, and you hire new generals, and that makes more armies. And sorry, 4X, yeah, 4X. That's, yeah. I knew what you mean, but I read the words and I was, yeah. So, even Total War Warhammer worked like that for the most part. There are a lot of factions that play into that. When they call it like a basic or classic Total War formula, it's kind of the idea that you paint the map in the color of your faction. So you conquer things. The more you conquer, the stronger you get, and you kind of get in there. And Total War campaigns can last a very long time. So we played a short campaign victory, or we did a short campaign yesterday that we finished with Tamarcon, and I rushed it at the end, and it was still, what, 8 to 10 hours. It was 8 or 9 hours of campaign that I played, and that was a short campaign. All right. I kind of started with like painting the map, then realized I don't need to paint the map to win the objectives, and I was kind of like, you know, let's actually finish this on stream and do the thing. So then I just leaned hard into just the objectives, and we kind of stopped painting the map. But the Total War Warhammer, when you capture regions, right, you have all those regions to capture. Total War Warhammer has, I think it's 580 regions on the map. It's a ton. So it's a very big game. And what they've done with Total War Warhammer is they started making factions that don't necessarily capture the map. I heard some curry, now my mouth is on fire. That sounds good though. Sounds really good. So there are factions that, you know, travel and don't capture anything. There's factions that they capture regions and they actually like kind of gift them to allied settlements. All kinds of stuff like that. What's going on, Isidore? How you doing, man? How you been? Yeah, all of them, it has that.
Let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me.
It has that turn-based system that goes into real-time battles. Mink the Fur, welcome in. Oh, where am I looking? What's going on, Mink the Fur?
It's cream.
Oh, is Mink the Fur just playing all the,
Now that's what I call
all the,
tour.
am I looking anywhere? Okay. I want to see the mini. Well, the look at me sound is if you have minis to share, you post them in the Discord, and then you can tell me, and I'll go take a look at them while I'm streaming. But that's no problem. If you want to join the Discord and post a mini, and you want me to go check it out, then yeah, no, it's cool. It's totally cool. But I will drink and stretch though. Good. In a minute. Getting to BattleTech. Oh, cool. The minis aren't great, but the game is so good. That's cool. That game is very crunchy. All right, let me stretch real quick. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I needed that. That's a good stretch. You don't have any minis yet. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Much of the negative I've seen is from historical Total War players. Grumpy It doesn't feel like Total War, which is fine. But it's not like Total War hasn't changed over 25 years. Yeah. Yeah, so it's weird. I think people have an idea of how Total War should be, and historically, Total War has always been something very similar, you know, even especially among the historical games, but even with Total War Warhammer, there's the painting the map. There's a a big map with territories. Your units, when you go into battle, they're typically in like regimented blocks, which is why Warhammer Fantasy worked really great without being a huge departure. So there was a lot of similarities with Total War Warhammer, but then when people, I kept reading this in discussions about Total War 40K, where people were like, well, they can't do Total War in 40K because the soldiers don't use formations in 40K like they do in all the Total War games. Like, I never got that because it was to me, it was always thinking like, well, do you think they could change that? Like, do you think Creative Assembly doesn't know that units don't line up in rank and file in 40K to like fight each other? Like it's absurd that people would like put that as like a qualifier of like, man, I can't like this game because they don't know how to put units in a formation that works with with the with how 40K plays or whatever. So yeah, Total War players have always been super grumpy about things, but that's kind of like every fan base, right? Fan bases are grumpy about stuff. Shock of the century. Yeah, the Mordians do, which would be great. The Mordians just like line up in regiments and stuff. That'd be pretty great. But I think there is a lot new system. There'd be a ton of new systems. They have a whole new engine for the game. That it seems like 40K is going to be their first game that they're putting on this engine. So that could be really good. That could be really bad. But it does speak to them doing something different, which is important. It's gonna be great. It'll bring a lot of new people into the yeah, it absolutely will. It's gonna bring it's gonna be so good for both Games Workshop and Creative Assembly. Like, there's gonna be so many people from both sides coming into this game, right? Or coming into the game and then also collecting minis afterwards. Like, you guys might think this is an absurd statement, but Total War Warhammer is the reason that the old world is a game right now. And I don't think that is an unreasonable statement at all. People played that game and they're like, well, where are the minis? Like, this is a miniature game company, right? Why can't I play these minis? And people begged for years to get these minis back out or have this game back and everything. And GW finally did it. It took them a while, but they did it. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the old world is making Games Workshop a ton of money. It is hugely successful for Games Workshop at this point. So I think that opportunity is there for both to just both ends of it to grow. Um, I also saw that Total War Warhammer 40k is the most wishlisted and followed game that was announced at the Game Awards over everything. And it was actually it got more follows than like the next 4 games combined. Maybe Total War players who won old, yeah. Medieval 3 should be really good. I'm hoping Medieval 3 will be good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Medieval 3, definitely. But it's not going to take the place of a 40k Total War for me. My dream game was always Warhammer Fantasy and Total War, but man, 40k Total War is just a wild thought. Disappointing the Star Wars trailer. Which one, the racing game or the Fate of the Old Republic? Fate of the Old Republic seems interesting, but again, I don't. There was one other game that I saw that I was really hyped about from the Game Awards. The Old Republic, like I liked Knights of the Old Republic. I played the Old Republic online game and stuff and really enjoyed them, but the only other game that really interested me was Divinity. That trailer was disgusting. That was a gruesome trailer, though. For a game I don't remember being so gruesome. The first two, the Divinity Original Sin. If you're bummed now, just wait until the game releases. Yeah. So, 40k Total War definitely have tons of new stuff in it that you don't see in the fantasy version. The way you play the game, and I thought this was interesting. If Raja's listening, when we talked about this, and you talked about how you tried Total War, and one of the reasons you didn't like it was the time commitment of a campaign. Where you're like, I don't have time to put 100 hours into a campaign, right? Which is a fair criticism of the genre in general, especially people with, careers and families and other obligations. Like you can't just do that. The way this 40k Total War game is going to work, what they're doing, I didn't know that about Divinity. That's crazy. You're gonna have like the galactic map. So you have the galactic map, and you have let's see. I'm using the GW Mini as a basic guide for this, by the way, the Studio Mini. If you're wondering. So you have the whole galactic map. Cool. All right. What you do with that galactic map, it's almost like a meta map, like a meta campaign. So you will get or choose to do individual things in that map. So I think they talked about 3 or 4 different types of campaigns. And how they will work is you'll say, hey, I want to do a crusade, might be what it's called. So maybe you have a whole sector or multiple star systems, and you will conquer those star systems. And that's, a star system is multiple planets that might be procedurally generated, or it might have like a more narrative bent to it, where it's like preset. Every planet in the star system has multiple provinces and multiple regions in the province. So a crusade is like a major campaign equivalent to a classic Total War campaign. All right, so you want to fight a crusade, you want to fight this major galaxy spanning, not galaxy spanning, but like sector spanning war, you do that. When you finish it, or your progress, I don't know if it's when you finish or just your progress, it affects the overall galaxy map. And I don't know if that means like the technologies that you unlock, or maybe the resources that you get for capturing the things, depending on what faction you're playing, the alliances you build with the factions you're maybe fighting with in there. But it comes back and it affects the big overarching galaxy map. All right, so that's like a crusade. You can do a system-wide war, which they talk about. A system war is something you can complete maybe in an evening. And so you fight over a system, which it's multiple planets, right? But maybe only a couple planets. And you'll fight the factions. There's kind of a narrative to it, but you'll fight over that system over the course of an evening and make it, you conquer it or whatever. You do the thing that you need to do. Not all of the factions are focused on conquering stuff, which is very important for this game. Most of the factions, or at least half the factions, are not about conquering territory. So there's that. But you'll fight over, they said an evening, probably a very long evening, but you fight that kind of sector spanning war, and your results from that sector spanning war affect the big galaxy map. And then you can also play, I think they called them flashpoints, but a flashpoint is a war on a single planet. So, and again, a planet is multiple regions, multiple provinces. Each province has multiple regions in it. So there's a lot to do on a planet, but that's like a, maybe a couple hour, maybe 2 hour, 3 hour campaign. And you can play that, and it's just over a single planet. So you might have a fleet present because you moved it there from the galaxy map, so the fleet gives support, and there's probably other things in place. But you play that, and the results on that affect the galaxy. And I'm really curious if they're going to do, this sounds crazy, but Helldivers-esque events. So if you imagine that they add into the game, let's say, hey, this month or these next 2 months, it's or maybe this update, we added the War for Armageddon. And you can play it and it affects your campaign this way. And so you go into an actual like narrative scenario of the War for Armageddon, and maybe it's just a sector-wide conflict, or maybe just a planetary conflict. And you end up fighting this massive war with, like, maybe if you're playing Space Marines, the chapter that you created from scratch, that you completely customized. You have your own chapter master. You named all your captains, who have progression, like RPG level up progression system with all your characters. And then you bring them to Armageddon and you fight that battle against the orcs and everything. And then the results of that battle affect the galaxy as a whole that you're playing. And so there might be really positive outcomes, there might be really negative outcomes from it, but it is affected by what you play. So there's like a grand strategy element in the galaxy, but then when you play the game, it really zooms down into however small or large of a picture that you want to really focus in on. So the complaint of like I don't want to put 100 hours into one campaign is very valid, absolutely valid, and I think that's something that they are looking at and attempting to address. That goes there. Yeah, having some narrative elements in the game would be wild. Yeah, just like the Battle for Armageddon, or something just absolutely crazy like that. I think that would be awesome. Um, yeah, and I'm wondering if I don't think they've confirmed or denied. They've been somewhat vague on this specific thing, but say you start a campaign and you make a Space Marine chapter, you play as the Space Marine chapter, um, and you play a bunch of missions. You kind of do some things for Space Marine chapter. My understanding, my limited understanding of everything here, but my understanding nonetheless is that if you start a new campaign as, say, the Imperial Guard, or sorry, the Astra Militarum, then you would jump into that galaxy map, and the chapter you created and played games with is present in the map that you have in some way, shape, or form. And the things that have happened in the galaxy have still happened. I think that's how it works. I could be completely wrong. And I like that. I don't know if I love it. I hope there's a way to reset it and everything. You really want, or like start a whole new map. But it'd be really cool to have, your personal Space Marine chapter fighting alongside your personal guard regiment, right? Yeah, there's a ton they could do. Now, I don't think they're gonna go back before Primaris. Um, for people hoping for Heresy era stuff, I don't see that happening. At least not for the first like 8 or 9 years. Um, if they do decide to do that, that would be pretty monumental and it'd be a whole thing. But yeah, I would not get hopes up for, Firstborn Marines unless GW comes out with them as minis, or yeah, something changes dramatically. Sounds like a lot of stuff to do, a lot of hours to commit. Yeah, yeah, I guess it could be. I think the idea is you can have like a start to finish experience within a couple hours, and then it kind of has like an effect on an overall narrative. Maybe my entire Space Marine chapter was destroyed by the orcs or fell into the webway or eaten by Tyranids. Yeah, yeah. That's true, John Lockridge. Yeah, there's a lot that could happen, and I think there's a lot of interesting things that could happen. Um, Speaking of Eldar, they talked about how the Eldar play in the game. So, they said the Imperial Guard, the Astra Militarum, and the Orcs have a more traditional Total War play experience. So they want to conquer planets. They want to build infrastructure on planets and recruit from those planets, and then continue conquering planets. That's kind of the idea behind those two factions. Space Marines are going to be, I think, mostly fleet-born and might build like outposts on planets, but they work a lot in conjunction with the Imperial Guard. Um, so so they work that way, and yeah, you really focus on your fleets, but being like a small elite, kind of like picking specific points to go fight instead of like defending the galaxy, right? And then the Eldar work in a way where they you're based on a craft world, and you spend your time basically fixing conflicts before they become too big, or like stopping cataclysmic events from happening. So you're using the webway to like jump to planets that that would become a serious issue or have something going on at the Farseer Sea in the future, and you're basically stopping them from happening. But with a big emphasis on like preserving Eldar lives, and not throwing your troops into meat grinders and stuff like that. So the variety of play already sounds really good, and there are certain factions that do things like this in Total War Warhammer, or have similar factions, and so I think they're getting like their kind of practice with this system, which I think is really good. None of this is sounding like Age of Empires. No, it's not. It's not like Age of Empires. I'm sorry. Personally, I'd rather have you choose a segmentum than a sector, than a system, and your entire campaign takes place in the system. Wait, what? You choose a segmentum, then a sector, then a system, and your entire campaign takes place in the system. Yeah, Uchini, yeah, sure. I mean, I think you kind of do that with the missions, but then the galaxy's kind of like the overarching, like fallback point, I think is what it is. But you also have to consider that this game is going to have every 40k race in it. So, and probably more than you have current rules eventually. So you're gonna need space, literally, to fit all of these factions with all of their unique mechanics and their ability to fight everything. So you need the galaxy to be a massive place, and it was similar for Warhammer, for Total War Warhammer, like the fantasy side of it, where they have a big map that holds everything, and it's almost 600 regions that you play in. But even then, 1 in 6 of those are a start point for a campaign if you want to. So like, it still feels a little crowded even with that many regions. So you're gonna need like a big space if you want all of these factions to be on the board. Sista, okay, hold on. A resin question. Go-to resin for minis, and how long do you wash cure your minis for? Okay, so I really like Soriatech, and I do a simple blend of Soriatech Fast resin and Soriatech Tenacious. Soriatech Tenacious is much more expensive, so I do like a 1 to 10 blend basically, of fast 9 parts, or I guess 10 parts, probably 9 parts fast, 1 part tenacious. And I like the darker colors of resin. I feel like the darker colors, they print a lot crisper because the light doesn't bleed through when you're actually printing to the other layers. But that's just some, that's a little more of a preference thing. I wash my minis for about 5 minutes, and I have a wash station, and I cure my minis for normally around 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, depending on the mini. If it's a really thick like mini, a large mini, probably a little longer. It's a really thin piece, is a little shorter. Yeah, Zen doesn't have a resin printer. It does seem like, as far as the gameplay for the campaign goes, it seems like you're going to pick a sector and a system and planets or whatever, and then you go and you play in those areas, and that's the campaign experience that you get when you're actually playing the game. But yeah, and then you kind of come back and it affects like the big picture of everything. That's kind of how it works. So you just want to play in like one solar system, basically. You can do that. You just want to have one system-wide war. You want to play a, probably a medium-length campaign that takes, I'd say 4, 5, 6 hours, something maybe. Then you play the system-wide campaign. And maybe it has a narrative. Maybe you're fighting over something and there's, like specific players in mind. Or maybe it's procedurally generated and it's just, somewhat random factions present, and you're battling it out with those random factions. That's my Saturn 4. Oh, nice. Wash cure station, redo bed level, run some cones calibration. Oh, very cool. There's the sword one. What's the sword calibration one called? That one's really fun. You're gonna calibrate. So I have a washing cure station. I don't use the cure side of it. I use just the I just use it to wash. The with the skull and the oh, okay, yeah, that's the one. I have a separate like little mini cure station, and I really enjoy that because I don't have to like disconnect things and reconnect them just to cure my minis. So because I typically wash them, and then if I'm like in a printing, you know, like I'm printing multiple things, like I'll be curing one while I'm washing the others, so you can do multiple things, but that's also more money. But to me, it's easier setup. There was they showed off concept art of different planets. The different planets, you know, there's different environments and stuff, and they were showing them off, which is really cool. So Wash Secure has me already eyeballing a second one. Yeah, just okay. You can find, I think it's Elegoo that makes a little cure station. It's just a little cylinder. That's what I use. It was like $40 or $50 when I got mine. You need another coffee. Yeah, you and me both. I wonder if characters are going to be as powerful in 40k Total War as they are in Warhammer Total War when you get them leveled up. So you have your chapter master, you know, and I wonder if there's going to be like unique items, kind of like magic items in Warhammer, or not. But are the abilities just going to get so off the wall in a campaign that your character can practically solo an enemy army? And is that good or is that not good? I honestly can't. I can't think of one way or the other. I am still getting Duncan every day. Yesterday I got my Duncan. No, it was 2 days ago. 2 days ago I got my Duncan. And I get Splenda in my Duncan. In my coffee. And I did extra Splenda, so and man, I tasted, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this is the right amount of Splenda to have in your coffee. I was like, this is great. It's like super sweet, and everything was perfect. Today I asked for the exact same amount of Splenda, and I feel like they forgot to put Splenda in my coffee. And also I feel like the coffee that was in my coffee was like the bottom of the pot, like had been said. It was bad. The coffee was really bad. Black Forces coming together. Very nice. Very nice. This is a Wood Elf Spellsinger. That is this mini. Yep, it is an old metal mini from GW. I put it on a new base, and I stripped it and I'm repainting it, but I mean, Duncan's alright. Sometimes, man, it's just not very good. But it's cool. It's cool. Wonder how many pre-built chapters they'll end up adding to the game. They'll have all of them. They will end up with every chapter that has like names. They will have them. Like, if you guys want, who's the chapter master of the Kakaradons? Like that guy, he'll be in the game eventually. I would put money on him being the game if I were a gambling man, because yeah, they will do stuff like that. And I also bet that when they put stuff like Space Wolves and Dark Angels and Blood Angels, they're going to put out a whole bunch of unique characters for them. So you can play as Dante, and you can play as you can have Mephiston, and all these characters will be in the game. But also, I bet you could use those parts from like the Blood Angels or like Space Wolves, and you can create your own chapter out of it. Use your own colors and do all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, I guarantee they'll have iconography for the size of the Emperor, and I bet you'd just be it'd be super easy to just name your chapter size of the Emperor, and there'll be no problem. There better be retributors. I bet it'll be okay. So most of these, when you're talking about like the codex compliant, like kind of minor chat, like the retributors are really cool. Size of the Emperor are really cool. They're just gonna put those in as iconography, and then you can paint the minis however you want. Give the minis the equipment you want. They talked about the customization system, and they said that they specifically said their own employees have spent so much time customizing their own Space Marine chapters. It's like most of what people do when they're playing the game. But they said it's detailed enough that if you want to paint individual fingers on your Space Marines, you can make their fingers different colors. So you'll be literally able to make just whatever chapter you want. Size the Emperor, the best Iron Warrior successor. Yeah. Yeah, you can have black fingertips. Yeah, do your Gothic Imperial fists. They just all paint their nails. Yeah, the fact they put an army painter in the game at all is amazing. They also said that you customize the loadout for individuals in your squads, so you can customize the loadout for your sergeants. And I don't know if there's like research that goes into it, like you start with chain swords or whatever, and then you eventually work up to you can give your dudes thunderhammers and stuff. But your sergeants can wield different weapons from the rest of the squad, which is actually something new for Total War. Total War has always been the whole unit has the same weapon. The drip is what's important. Exactly. Curb, what's going on? This got autoplayed while I'm painting my orcs. Sweet. Did my Total War mention make this happen? Yeah, I have a lot of people on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? A lot of people come to chill. We're just talking about Total War 40k. I have played Total War games for the past 25 years. So I have a few opinions and ideas on how this game could work, and I also welcome any questions. If people have questions on what I think. Now I don't know any more than I feel like normal people. I haven't played the game. I'm not one of the cool like YouTube creators that got to go play the game last spring or whatever, but yeah, I have a lot of ideas on how the game could be, and I've also been following that game like a hawk the past week or whatever. Is the scale going to be smaller? What do you mean the scale compared to a normal Total War game, or compared to like a Warhammer battle? What's your question with that, Quishy? Also, Curb, what orcs you painting up? It's the new Wood Elf Tree Singer mage. This is a Wood Elf Tree Singer. This mini is not new. This mini is almost or at least 20 years old. It's an incredible mini, though. No, we're just getting base colors on it right now. That's all. Thanks, YouTube algorithm. Hey guys, welcome in. If you're not familiar, I'm the Painting Dad. I stream, I try to stream 4 or 5 days a week, but this holiday season is not going to be that. But, I stream a lot. I paint a lot of minis. Sometimes I play video games. I'm a huge Total War fan. Huge fan of Warhammer in general. So, but yeah, we just paint and chill. That's all we do. I stream on Twitch and YouTube. So if I'm talking to people and you don't see their chat popping up, it might be because they're on a different streaming service, or you need to actually open your chat to see it. So, like the unit sizes and the number of models compared to Warhammer 3. Yeah, so if you look at the trailer, they show gameplay. Space Marine unit sizes are smaller and than normal Total War, but they're similar to, like, Space Marine squad has 10 dudes. I think these Space Marine squads have 10 dudes. The guard squads and the orc squads look like they have between like 30 and 50 in a squad. The squad / platoon or whatever unit. Excuse me. So the scale will be, I think, overall larger than like a 40k battle, but battle sizes will probably have less entities on the field than a Warhammer battle. And if you guys watch some of my Warhammer playthrough, like the past couple days, we had battles with 4,000 and 5,000 models on the field, and that's not a totally uncommon thing. I don't know if I see 40k getting that many models. If you can get 4,000 models in the field in a 40k battle, it's gonna blow my mind. I'm gonna be so pumped for stuff like that, like just swarming the planet with guardsmen and just having thousands of guardsmen on the field at one point. That's a dream come true for a game. But probably not that much, especially when there's a bigger emphasis on tanks and big scary walkers and all kinds of stuff like that. Titans eventually. Titans will be in the game. Don't worry about that. That's not a question of if. It is, yeah, it's certainly a question of when. And I don't think it'll be... Titans probably won't be too long. At least a couple years, though. I'd say give it a couple years. You gotta be patient with these things, though, because there's a lot of factions, a lot of minis, a lot of units to get on the battlefield, in the game. Painting some Killicans, very nice. Finished 500 points for the New Year, sweet. Killicans are so cool. Most adorable little dreadnoughts. Yeah, new regular ones are from 4th edition. Okay. That's great. I love it. Calling these ones the new ones. Of course they're new. Yeah. But yes, yeah, this one is metal. It's great. It's not an awful fine cast. See how much Total War has grown since the first game came out. Yeah, I played Total War from the day it came out. Total War Warhammer from the day it came out. And that game is it's night and day. In like the best way. The game is so good. And they have added so much and they have done so many new things. The first Total War Warhammer game, and I know some people hate this. I know when you talk about DLC, people always get like super upset about DLC, but also as Warhammer fans, we want to see our goodies and our faction in the game. And if you enjoy the game, like DLC it's going to be part of it, guys. There's going to be a lot of DLC. The first Warhammer game had a DLC come out every other month. And in the 18 months that Warhammer Total War 1 was out, they put out, it was like 7 or 8 DLC for that game. They put out, there were 3 factions, whole races they put out, four that they put out as DLC. One was a day 1 DLC, but 4 whole factions, and then they had a free faction they put out for everybody. Bretonia is free. If you own the games at all, you get Bretonia for free. So they added 5 factions to the game on top of the 4 factions that started in the game over the course of 18 months, which is a lot. Like they were moving quick on top of DLC that added in more units for existing factions, which I think there were, is it just 2? I'm trying to think of all the DLC they put out. Maybe just 2. But yeah, they put out a lot. Except for the new Total War. I just hope city management isn't too hard, because that's what gets me confused in the others. I love the city management stuff. I'm a big fan of that. I like the 4X elements of the games. But I do understand if people do not like those elements. Let's get around here. Let's find something like we're gonna do this drab brown. That's what we want to do. Try to get some different colors here. Yesterday found out one of the 2 game stores in downtown Portsmouth is moving a lot closer to my house. That's nice. Dang, okay. So you're gonna be living there then. Yeah, say bye to your family, I guess. See how much Total War Warhammer is growing. Yeah, that's right. I read that already. I might head up to my local store today. I won a gift card the last tournament I went to, and it's like burning a hole in my pocket. But I've been sick, and I haven't been feeling like driving all the way out to the store. So I haven't gone out. One last resin question. What's your opinion on water washable? Don't do water washable resins. They're brittle, they're lower quality, and you can't really wash them with water. You still need to use isopropyl on them. Water doesn't do the trick. You'll have them rinsing all day underwater, and they're just as toxic. All of that resin is toxic. Yeah, you're just buying a worse product for the same amount of money. Yeah, the family will survive without you. Yeah. I don't like them as much as I don't know what I'm meant to be building. Yeah, that definitely comes with experience, and like I teach my son this when we play strategy games. I teach him you eco first, you get by with what you got in your armies, but you eco first, and then I focus on military stuff. I always try to set myself up for later. That's just the kind of player I am with these games. But yeah, there's a lot of different things like public order and. There's corruption mechanics and Warhammer Total War, and there's growth and yeah, actual money making buildings, and then a lot of factions have secondary resources that they're concerned about. So yeah, there is a lot with that. Fortunately, those elements on the map are part of a turn-based game and not the real-time game. So you're not stuck making decisions quickly. You can take your time making those choices. But that's another reason I'm a big fan of turn-based strategy in general. Get coffee and continue my German's nice. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna stream a lot of Total War 40K. That's cool with you guys. Another thing I can do? I can name commanders and units and stuff. You can name your units in most Total War games. I can name them after you guys. You guys can come up with names for units. We can do a big community campaign. That'd be fun. Build a big centerpiece unit first. Economy, never, because who cares? It's not a big stompa. Yeah, I love that. Misfit, I want that Krieg Holiday box so bad. Yeah, get Sergeant Breadstick in there. Yeah, we'll get Sergeant Breadstick in the community campaign. Need to replace your IPA. Yeah, there is a way you can actually filter out and like recycle your IPA. I have not done it, but I know you can using some filters and stuff. You still got to be careful with managing how to dispose of things, but it is possible. What faction plan I'm playing in the new game? All of them, but I'm most excited for the Astra Militarum because I'm a 35-year-old man who used to watch World War II documentaries on the History Channel nonstop. So the Imperial Guard are like the faction for me in these games. I just want artillery and I want tanks and 100,000 infantry running onto a planet. Yep. Creative Assembly knows that. You gotta get there and get his Chris. Okay, sweet. You mispronounced Eldar. Yeah. What's up, Big Pop? How you doing? No, I'm gonna go look for some stuff myself, but that's just because I have a gift card and I want to go look for stuff. Instead of IPA, having a big bucket of boom juice makes me paranoid. There's no way that resin wash isn't flammable either. That can't be true. LLC, what's going on? Just hoping the first DLC will be Net Army. Probably not. I will say LLC. First DLC will probably be something Chaos related. That is almost all but guaranteed. And if it's Chaos related, it's going to be like Chaos Undivided. Right, but they'll eventually get all your Chaos factions, right? Painting Fam's doing pretty well, yeah. We're doing good. We did our first like Christmas get together last night. My son got some awesome gifts. These might sound really lame to some of you guys, but my son loves these two gifts he got. He got a globe. All right, like a legit spinning textured globe. And I am super excited for it. It's really cool, but he is so excited to have a globe, and we've just been like looking at it and naming countries and stuff. Been having a lot of fun with that. He also got a model kit. The model kit he got is a model kit that you assemble, and it is a 4-cylinder internal combustion engine. And that's what it's an engine block. It's what it is. And you assemble it, and then it actually plugs in, and it functions like an engine. So the spark plugs are actually like, they look like little Christmas lights almost. But you assemble it like an engine and everything, and it shows you like the throttle and everything, and it shows you like the like crankshaft and how the cylinders power it and everything. I don't know, man. I don't know anything about engines, but it was a family member on my wife's side that got it for him. My dad is a retired automotive mechanic, and he was a very good one. He was an automotive mechanic. Well, since he was like 16, he bought his first car and he rebuilt the engine in it. But he's been doing this for 50 years. What we're gonna do when we visit my parents after Christmas, we're going to take that model kit down, and my son's going to assemble it, and my dad's going to tell him about it, like explain the things to him, because my dad loves talking about that stuff, and he'll just go on about it. My son soaks things up like a sponge, and him putting that together while my dad is just like teaching him about engines, it's going to be like a match made in heaven. What's going to happen is my son, the whole drive home, he's going to be telling me exactly how an engine works and all the parts in it. And it's going to be someone else I'm not going to remember. Yeah. I'm super excited. My son's excited. My dad's excited about that. So he was really impressed. He's like, well, do you need glue, or do you need, like clippers or anything for it? I was like, no. I was like, it has like screws and a screwdriver. So you actually like bolt it together and stuff. And yeah. So 2 very awesome gifts that we're excited about. Briggs and Stratton crate coming next Christmas. Jeez. 3-year-old a few weeks ago walked up to a display of flags of countries in the world and started rattling them off. Oh, that's really cool. We got Albania. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool knowledge. When my son was fencing, he's not fencing anymore, but when he was fencing in the fencing club, they had flags of different nations hanging on the ceiling. And I would tell my son what the flags are, and then I would quiz him on them every week. So we made a little game about naming the nations of the world with the flags. So it's not aluminum. It is all plastic. The like the housing, the engine housing is clear plastic, so you can actually see inside and see how things are working. Hauser logo. Okay, so it's non-flammable. Okay, that's cool. That's cool on that cleaner. That's good to know. He's a French. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. So he got some good gifts. So we're excited. We're gonna be hanging out with some more family this evening. But in case anybody's wondering, I should. Okay, that's right. No, he was using the French grip on there. The pistol grip was interesting. Or I guess he was just using like a straight grip. Because isn't the French grip? It's like a weird, like it's got like hooks and stuff on it, right? It's like very ergonomic. All of the fencing, so we never got to a point where we bought him his own sword, but or foil or whatever. But the ones he always used like the straight grip one. Yeah, the pistol grip has hooks. Okay, yeah, some of the kids there use that grip. It was really interesting. Here are my trivia knowledge. Jeans, yeah. He's going to be way into the Civil War. His teachers are going to be concerned about why he has 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea checked out in 5th grade. That's great. That's really funny. Yeah, my son has been, we've been watching a documentary about an aircraft carrier. It's the Battle 360, the USS Enterprise. And so he's been really into that. We've been talking about like naval ships a bunch. So also, the other day, we had a snow day. I watched A Christmas Story with my son. He has never seen that movie. It's a good documentary. Yeah. He's never seen A Christmas Story, so we watched it together. I was dying, and I learned that show hits way different when you're actually a parent. Because, yeah, seeing things from the parent's perspective. You've never seen A Christmas Story, really? It's so good. Not even a little bit, yeah. I am impressed. Painting Wife doesn't like that movie. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, Painting Son loved it, though. He loved it. I knew there was something wrong with Zendro. Yeah, yeah. John knows. You haven't seen it either. Okay. Is it Hulu? I think it's Hulu has it right now. Watched as a kid. I don't think I've seen it in 10 plus years. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. Just turn on TBS anytime next week. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's only an hour and a half. It is a legitimately good movie, Zen. It's about a kid trying to get a BB gun for Christmas in the 1950s. Oh no, 1940s. It takes place in the 1940s. It's on Cthulhu. No, it's not on Cthulhu. A Red Ryder BB gun with a compass in the stock. Yeah, that's the one he needs. The compass in the stock really helps. It was so fast for a movie too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. We watched it and it was just like, oh, it's almost over already. Like yeah. It doesn't waste any time. Easily your favorite Christmas movie. Nice. It's up there. I think Elf might be my favorite Christmas movie because I don't think I laugh so hard in a Christmas movie as I do with Elf. But he asked for a BB gun, was given a shotgun and cigarettes. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. And Curb, you've never seen it. If you've never seen it, I recommend you watch it. It is a great movie. It's very 80s too. Like it's not I guess you could say it's a kids movie, but like there's a lot of language in that movie for being a kids movie. And that's actually like part of the plot. It's like all the language his dad uses. He talks about his dad just like comes up with the most colorful ways to like cuss about things, and it's yeah. Christmas movie followed by Christmas Vacation. Yeah, Christmas Vacation's really good too. Yeah. I think that's my wife's favorite Christmas movie. She watches that every year, but she used to watch it every year with her dad also. I'm just working on some just our basic uh, base colors here. Home Alone's another good one. Yeah. Jingle All the Way is one of my favorites. Oh, the live action Grinch is good. Yeah, you watched Jingle All the Way. Yeah, Turbo Man. Yeah, the way he pronounces is just so good. Or Phil Hartman in that movie is such a creep. He does such a good job at being like the creepiest neighbor. Ugh, it's disgusting. Yeah, the Jim Carrey Grinch movie is another good one. Yeah, so many good Christmas movies. We gotta start watching our fill. We watched Christmas Story. That's all we've gotten to so far this year. So we gotta get some other ones. In my house, eating my cookies with my fin. I never cared for Die Hard. Like it's okay, but that's never been a movie I've liked too much. Also, does a movie taking place on Christmas, does that make it a Christmas movie? Is that just like the qualifier? It is. Okay, so Lord of the Rings is a Christmas movie. Now that means that The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie. It's also a Halloween movie. So, Turbo action figure would have been the absolute coolest Christmas present in history. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ernest in any Ernest movie was awesome. I remember the Ernest. What was the Halloween Ernest movie? I used to watch that one with my brothers all the time. Rambo had a Christmas tree. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yep, Ernest Scared Stupid. That's the one. Yep. Or the one where he's a janitor in the school. I remember the scene where like the vacuum he's like vacuuming or buffing the floor or something and it won't turn off. And he's trying to turn it off, he unplugs it, it's still on. He just starts taking it apart until eventually it gets down to this like one little piece that's making all of the sound. That killed me. As a kid, I thought that was like the funniest thing ever. That he takes apart the whole machine and it's still going. Yeah, Ernest Scared Soup that like straight traumatized me. I do remember being little and like being scared of like yeah, there was something in that movie that scared me. Koishi, what's your Korean War fact? Hit me with it. I've been watching the Korean War series on YouTube week by week. It's week 71, I think, this past week of the war. Reason Die Hard's a Christmas movie isn't that it just takes place on Christmas, but it has to be Christmas for the movie to take place as it does. Okay. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. MacArthur went full crazy during that war, and was rightfully fired for it. He was undermining like the whole Joint Chiefs of Staff and everything. Like, it's going behind their back to like talk trash about him to the public and everything. And yeah, on top of just wanting to nuke China. Crazy. See when the kid looks under the bed, there's nothing there, slowly pans up, the monster's in bed waiting. Oh, that, okay. It's been so long since I've seen an Ernest movie. I don't remember a lot of specifics about him, but you know painfully little about the Korean War. Well, I recommend if you look up the Korean War on YouTube, you will get there's a YouTube channel, and they have done, this is the third major war they've covered. They've covered a lot, but it's a group called Time Ghost. But it's hosted by a guy named Indy Nidell, and he does Korean War week by week as it happens. And so they're normally 15 to 20 minute episodes. He gives recaps on what happened that week. And the Korean War ended up stalemating after about a year, and so it's a lot of like negotiations and stuff at this point, like politics. So yeah, there's a lot of that, but there's still stuff that happens. But I recommend it. Like I said, it's on week 71 or 72 at this point. They put out a new episode every Tuesday. Did I say Time Ghost? Yes, I did. Yeah, if you just look up like Time Ghost, I don't think it'll bring up the Korean War. Their actual channel is the Korean War, I believe is what it's called. But they did World War II from start to finish, like 79 years later. They did World War I on the 100th anniversary. And so they did 100 years. They started in 2014. They did World War I week by week. And that was their like first documentary they did. And those episodes typically sat around 10 minutes. But they would do the recap episodes. They did a lot of side episodes of like biographies about like big names during the war. Or they talked about technology, or they did Q&As, and they did all this other stuff. So it's probably the most comprehensive documentaries or series about any of these three wars that they've done. Yeah. They quote a lot of authors. They do cite all of their sources, so it's not just dudes making stuff up. Everything that they do is sourced. Okay. Yeah, the Great War. Yep, that was called the Great War. Yeah, Quishy. Okay, let's. What do I want to do here? I don't think I want to do that bright green. Okay, let's start with this. Need to binge it. That is, I don't know, 4 years worth of 10-minute episodes, plus all the additional things. I don't know if that's I mean, you could definitely binge it, but that is long binging session. What's going on, T-Slayer? How you doing? We are chilling and painting a wood elf. I like wood elves. There. That's what we're doing. My gosh. You go to World War I battle site here in Latvia for Independence Day. Well, that's really cool. That is really cool. We don't have many of those in the US, so not really available for me. The the World War II show they did was particularly amazing. I will say, they did that for 6 years. Just week after week for 6 years, they put out episodes and covered this war from, was it September 1st all the way through like August 9th. But they still put out stuff about the war, though. They do like post-war content and everything, and they're revisiting certain things in more depth and all this. But they did a series with that was part of that channel called War Against Humanity. And it was literally just about the war crimes and horrific things that civilians like went through during that war. And yeah, absolutely awful, but absolutely informative. Like, yeah, stuff that was like putting me in tears, like listening to like the descriptions of things of like what they're talking about. But yeah. Important stuff, though. Trying to binge that will get you pulled out of your house, stuck in a recliner after 35 days and not showering or changing. Yeah. You'd fuse with the recliner at that point. Never finished a series on the second Sino-Japanese War. I haven't either. I haven't watched a lot of their smaller series. There were a couple that I watched, but they have a couple like mini series about different events in history. They did a mini series about the Holodomor, I think is how you pronounce that, which was like the Soviet, like Russian genocide against the Ukrainians in the 30s, and that was a like a horrifying listen. I remember watching that one. I was like, man, this stuff's kind of hard to watch. These little like spirit creatures on the base, you can see them here. We'll get to paint those bright colors. Well, you're eyeing up a Nighthaunt army, really? Force sprites are my spirit animals? Yeah. Okay. Getting into a good spot with these base colors. One thing about metal minis is there's always a lot of weird undercuts on them. And so sometimes it's challenging to make sure paint's on everything, but that's also a good reason why washes are so important, because they'll get into those little crevices Even if you can't really reach in there with a brush. To paint either. I kind of like the Nighthaunt minis. They have some good ones. They do have some good ones. A lot of Pacific vets remained very disgusted by what they saw the Japanese had done. Yeah. Yeah. They're... Man, so many countries did so many... Or have done and are still doing. And, like, countries do so many horrible things, like nations do. And it's crazy to me as, like... What I see myself as a relatively normal person. And it's like, can we just chill and, like, exist together, you know? Like, 99% of people want the same thing. It's just a stable income, right? Like, being with people that they love, and like, having some entertainment, not having to, like, be beholden to a bunch of people or whatever, but just, like very simple things. And, you know, random people in power are like, well, what if we just kill and hate those people? It's just... And then people just go along with it for, like, reasons. It's crazy. Yeah, it definitely is super easy to label people as evil. And that's, you know, that's a tale as old as time, right? Of just us versus them. Kill a can done. Nice. 4.5 to go. Very nice. Congratulations. I've been there and glad I got out of it. Yeah. Good. Good deal, Quishy. Good deal. Freedom, food, housing. Place free of malicious and hostile deer. That's true, yeah. Place free from deer that eat all your roses. And you're good. Might be a little spiteful still. Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like you might be. That's alright. You have reason to be spiteful. Alright, lots of gold. One thing, I painted a wood elf. It was actually Big Papa sent me a wood elf. That wood elf noble, that incredible, like, great weapon noble mini. And one goal I had that I kept with was I didn't want any I think I went without any metal on the mini. And I think if I paint more wood elves, I know I put gold on this mini, but I think I'm going to try to stick with that. Like, no metallics on the mini. Maybe I'll just do that with this mini. Do I just stick with no metallics on the wood elves whatsoever? Like, not even, like, non-metallic metals, just, like, no metals. Like, they don't even, like, mine or forge things with metals. That might be really neat. I need to dig that mini. He's up on a shelf somewhere. I'll have to grab him, and I'll have to just make sure if I had gold on him. If I didn't have gold on him, I'll replace the gold on this mini. Yeah, I think just, like, lean into the whole attitude of being, you know, one with nature, right? Kind of want to do that. Is that cool, guys? Is that cool if I do that? Just paint over all this gold? think I do that. Okay. I'm going to take a really vibrant color here. But yeah, I'm going to change some things up. It's your mini, but also yes, yeah, alright. I don't know why I didn't even just think of that until now. Get out of here, metals. Use the same branch color that we were using on these other ones. And I have an idea for the leaves. Make the crown the same branch color. For Patreon members, we are going to do Patreon Hangout tonight. So that will be happening. I'll try to be on normal time. I'll let you know when I get on. So that'll be there. And then for everybody, the rest of my week is looking a little different. And I know going to the holiday week, I'm going to end up posting a schedule for next week and everything. See iPad on the remote and try to figure out why the heck the TV is turning on now. I think your TV's possessed there for a few minutes. Is that what it is? But tomorrow and Friday, I will not be streaming. It's not because of any like health things or whatever. I have doing some Christmas stuff tomorrow actually, and then Friday a family member has a procedure, so I'm going to be with him on Friday. So I'll be doing that for the rest of this week. I do plan on streaming on Sunday, and maybe I'll stream Thursday night or something. I'll try to maybe figure something out. We'll see. And then obviously like Christmas week and then New Year's is gonna be kind of out of whack. So I'll let you guys know I am not streaming Christmas Day. So that's you can kind of bank on that. But sounds awful like a lot. Well, okay, yeah, no, the Thursday thing isn't health stuff, but the Friday thing's health stuff, and it's nothing serious, but something I need to be there for. So yeah, do you spend time with your family instead of chat? Yeah. Hey, but I get it though. I know you guys have an expectation, and I, being sick like all of last week, kind of threw everything for a loop. But yeah, Christmas and New Year is going to be kind of weird because I'm going to be out of town for a portion of it, and we'll be, and I'll be, yeah, obviously celebrating holidays and stuff with people. Painting wife's birthday on Christmas Eve, so spend time with her on Christmas Eve and the family. North for sunny San Diego for Christmas. Nice. Very nice. Good. So I won't be watching your stream on Christmas. Well, fine, John Lockridge, fine. How's it almost already Christmas? Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. Absolutely ridiculous. It's colder in San Diego than Wisconsin. I'll crash out. That'd be pretty valid crash out, though. I wouldn't blame you too much for that. If John Locke finds himself 10 hours north on the 101 for some reason, send me a DM. Okay, there you go. You can DM Big Papa, John Lockridge, if you're... Or, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna get this black green, and we're gonna paint these leaves like a nice deep green. I think. Let's paint them like a deep green. Take them to go see redwoods. Oh, cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, black green's a great color. We're going to paint all these little leaves here. Black green. Excited for Christmas? Me too. I'm excited for Christmas as well. Hope you guys are. For Christmas, I am getting, and I hate the name of this thing. It sounds so weird, but I am getting a Ninja Creamy. You guys are familiar with that. I don't know why I'd ever go that far north. Anywhere north of Columbus is uninhabitable waste. Okay, jeez. Jeez, man, jeez. But, it's called a Ninja Creamy. Yeah, it is, so it's an ice cream maker. Yeah. Made by Ninja. Yeah, everybody says they're amazing. I've never heard anything bad. Yeah, there you go, Zen. Thank you. Thank you. You are not allowed to go near it, Zen. Just because of that emote. Because you did exactly what I thought you would do when I mentioned this. So, no ice cream for you. Yeah, it's an ice cream maker. But it can kind of like make a lot of stuff into ice cream. It's not like a classic, like you put the rock salt in and you mix it or whatever. It's a it's just like a glorified like super blender that turns whatever your frozen thing is into like ice cream. Steve Drawley. Make some great chocolate ice cream with it. Yeah. You put whatever. Yeah. Making ice cream for your mom's ice cream maker from 1983. Dang, okay. Yeah, and one of the big things, my wife has a lot of food allergies, and so I can make her ice cream with it that she can eat. I want to make myself some healthier ice cream, so I can just eat a bunch of ice cream all the time and claim that I'm being healthy. And just make like crazy flavors for it. So I'm excited. And my wife actually got me extra. Yeah, I've heard you run it twice. Yeah, I've heard running it twice is typically how people do it. How long does it take to run? Like, how long does a like cycle take? Is it like 5 minutes or is it less or? But oh, a minute or less. Dang, nice. Okay. So I want to make ice cream on like Christmas Day, right? I'm gonna open this. I want to make ice cream. But you have to like mix the ingredients in like their special cups, and you have to let it freeze for like 24 hours before you make the ice cream. Well, I was talking to my wife about it. Like, man, like it'd be nice if we could just like get this a little earlier, get extra like containers or whatever. Well, she bought me a set of spare containers for it, so we're gonna open that up a day or two before Christmas. We're gonna make some different ice creams. We're gonna put them in the freezer, and then Christmas morning we're gonna eat ice cream. So that's the plan, at least. Yep, I'll report back, guys. I'll let you know. bye gold. There's a bit of gold left, but we'll go back and up all this gold. But looking a lot more natural and tree friendly. Like, let me get this thing. We'll still paint the little gems that she has set on some of the different items on her, but I want ice cream. Yeah, I always want ice cream, man. This is my existence. Blackberry, man, fresh blackberry ice cream, that does sound good. I do plan on using, like, making some berry ice cream. Probably use, like, frozen berries, but should be good. Okay, back to our black green. I did learn a really good way to brighten this black green to make it like a really nice neutral green color, is by adding bright yellow green. You start mixing bright yellow green into the mix, which is a very bright and like vibrant green. But it turns this into a wonderful green shade, which I'll probably use on these leaves. Yeah, and I'll show you guys eventually. I'll show you kind of the result, but I've done this before with this green, and it's just like chef's kiss, like the perfect shade of green that you get. So these Wood Elf minis, like this mini that I'm painting and the minis that came out with this line, they were some of the first digitally sculpted Games Workshop minis. I don't know which specific ones. I think the plastics may have been digitally sculpted, but they were some of the first ones. When suddenly realized the cool breath of the Spectre of Age via Christmas gift this year. Oh no. what are you getting for Christmas? Wife ordered me a Dutch oven. I've been wanting for a long time. My excitement was palpable. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, Dutch oven of all things. Yep. I got my ice cream maker. Getting the Dutch oven. The Dutch oven, apparently. Okay. This mini is looking much more Wood Elf-like. I like that. Okay. I am going to do, let's do a couple little things here. We're going to put some washes on this mini. First wash, we're going to put a diluted flesh wash on here. Warhammer's been a crucial part of half of total life now. Dang, it's crazy. Bread and cobblers, yeah. Stuffed bell peppers, sounds good. I'm gonna be hungry now. Thanks, guys. let's see. Pretty good. It's pretty good. I made some like saffron rice last night. It was pretty delicious. Like I've gotten that down. Some stuffed peppers from Poblanos from my garden. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Damn nightclub meme? I'm not familiar. Sounds incredible though. I don't have any grandiose plans of painting anything crazy before the end of the year. Last year I painted like 100 militia, and it was like the last couple weeks of December I painted all of those, but I don't have any of that. Got too much going on, I think. I don't think I have time to do any of that. Okay, next wash here. Let's do, let's take this brown and gray wash. What do you think for the hair? So I used bright pale yellow on the hair so far. What I want to do is I think I want to make a really pale green wash, like really pale, and kind of put that in her hair to give it almost like a glow. On a bold action spree. That's awesome though. You're getting stuff done. So I would love a way to just incorporate green into everything on this mini. Like that would be a lot of fun. But I think, yeah, I think just a little bit of green in her hair, I think would be really cool. But like, almost like this shade of a wash, just to kind of give it something. It's almost like ethereal looking. Yeah, that's something to think about, I guess. Old Action does seem like it's in a really good spot right now. I love seeing historicals getting love like that, and yeah, it definitely seems like Old Action's getting its day in the sun. Okay. Got that brown wash. Now let's make...
Look at me!
Oh, Quishy. Working on more Bold Action. Let's see. Yeah, more Germans. Nice. Very nice work. Good stuff. All right. Now, the hard part is going to make this kind of green wash. And just to try to figure out what would be our color. Let me see here. Let me see what kind of colors I can mess around with. Something that's wash-like to start. So let's see, what does Creed Camo do? If we thin this out, it's been a while since I've used that. That's a pretty nice color for a wash. I bet if I thin that out, I can get something good out of it. At least wash this the little more bolder green with that. Let's try it. We'll thin this in two ways. We'll put some glaze and wash medium down, and then we'll use our flow improver. Try to see what we get. We don't want it taking over like a contrast paint. We just want it to get our shadows. when you do your resin mix, do you measure or just eyeball? I measure mine. Yeah. So what I do is I buy my Tech Fast in 2 kilogram containers. So you get the 2 kilo container, and there's space left in there. You know, it's not full to the brim, right? Thin that a little more. So what I do, no. I like that. I like that. We're gonna try this. I have almost like an old like measuring cup, like a glass measuring cup. And I have a line I fill that to with my Tenacious, my Tech Tenacious. I do 1 cup of that. I fill it to the brim and I pour it into my 2 kilogram container, and then it's mixed in the container and it's done. So I know a new container, 2 kilos of fast gets the 1 cup of. It's not like a whole cup. It's maybe like 4 ounces or something of the Tenacious. And that's what I do for my blend. I used to measure it out and put it in a separate container. I'd make these ratios. It was too much. Way too much. Random bit of info. If you ever use Pro Curl on a wet palette, when I come back and paint later in time, glaze and wash medium is the key to reconstituting the paint. Oh, interesting. That's really cool, Big Papa. I haven't tried that. I'm usually like, if I'm done with my paint session, normally I kind of am just done with the paint that I've used. So yeah, this is good. See, this is giving us a more vibrant green also, which is what I want. I like this kind of camo green look, but yeah, they added some blue into it, and it gives us, man, such a nice, like, nice vibrant color here. Trick. Yeah. Just use the use the tools you got for measurement. Yeah, what the Tenacious does, the Tenacious is expensive. Means great wash. Oh, interesting, Big Papa. Okay, that might be something I have to look into sometime. Yeah. um the reason I use the Tenacious Houdini is it's more expensive. That's not why I use it, but that's why I mix it in. But the Tenacious resin is flexible resin. So one of the big issues when you 3D print minis is that the minis will be brittle. More brittle than like a plastic mini or a metal model or whatever. So you want to find ways to give them a little bit of flex. Now, I printed a mini with just pure Tenacious resin before, and it's just goofy. Like, the mini is it just bends everywhere, and it doesn't work with printing like small details. They don't quite come out the same because of just how flexible everything is. But when you mix the two, you end up getting like a strong mini from the fast resin with like a little bit of give from the Tenacious. And 1 to 10 seemed to be the ratio that worked well for me, where I have just a tiny bit of give in the minis. It's not much. It's still not as much as like a plastic mini, but it does give you enough, and so you can handle the mini reasonably well, and you don't have to worry about it constantly just breaking. Tenacious. Mix some of the Elegoo Basic 8K. Came out way better than just Basic. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah. Okay, and you know what? I gotta try it. I gotta do this. Sounds like you accidentally made a WizKids mini. Oh, that's like super flexible. Yeah, yeah, the WizKids stuff. I know what you're talking about, Curb. Yeah, that like board game plastic that they use. It's like Hero Clicks and stuff, right? Okay, I love that color that we got out of this. Let's get a tailed brush. Get some of these lines up here. That gave me an idea. I got an idea here. Let's see. Don't always use these contrast colors for the things you expect, but it's nice to have them for all these random little uses here. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do, we're going to a little more flow improver. We're going to take some of that mix we made. Let's see. Yeah, very, very weak. That's what we want. Let me see. Let's check this out. Might be just what we want if I'm wanting to do crazy wood elf things. It's the slightest like green hue in the skin. It's gonna end up looking like poison ivy by the end of it. I feel like it's a legitimate color scheme for wood elves and attitude. Army's keeping dirty down in business with moss purchases. Yeah, I need to go buy some basing material for this many. I don't have anything that's a good, like, summer wood type theme for basing. This camo green, or Creed camo, ended up really coming in clutch here. You guys turned out amazing. Thanks again for the how-to. Oh yeah, you're welcome. I'm so happy that those worked out for you. That's so cool. Water slide transfers are really easy. You just need the right stuff, and especially if you're are in the sphere of Games Workshop. Like, Games Workshop will never explain how to use water slides, which is crazy to me. They can make their own solution. They have everything there to make their own water slide solution, and they choose not to. Just call it an advanced technique, sell a product for $30, and you got it. Yeah. But they just absolutely refuse. It's a lot heavier. It's here. Alright. Wash is on the mini. Now that is a cool looking spell singer so far. Hey, did someone join the Patreon? Notification never popped up on stream. But whoever you are, thank you for joining Patreon, and welcome in. And if you want to come join us in the hangout this evening, by all means. We start normally around 8:30 Eastern, and we just kind of chill and hobby and tell stories about our week and everything as we hang out. There's normally like 4, 5, 6 of us that hang out. It's really chill time. A lot of good people. So, thank you though. Thank you, Alex, out there. I like that green a lot. These greens have turned out really good. Creed camo is one to write down. Good wash for these wood elves. There's a lot of stuff drying, but we can jump. Just check my PTO balance, taking off all next week. Still have 50 plus hours before the end of this year. No problem. Can't join the hangout? Hey, no problem though, Curb. I appreciate it. Thank you so much again. Yeah, if you ever have an evening off on a Wednesday or something, you want to join the hangout. You can also, if you connect your Discord to your Patreon account, then yeah, we have a Patreon member only channel there, and it's not always the most active, but if you want to hear something from from me for just Patreon members, that's the place. Okay. Let's see, what are we gonna do? I could start highlighting kind of the wood areas here. I think, yeah, hold on. Let's figure out a color. Let's go into not burnt umber. No, let's work into light umber here with the woods. Wait, can you take the rest of the week off or next week? Not a fan of all the cleaning with resin prints, but I do like being able to knock out a full plate of minis in the amount of time it take to an FDM printer to do one. That's true, Teeny. Yeah, yeah. Watching Zen print with his FDM printer, I'm a little jealous. Just so he's like, yeah, it's done. Look, and he just pops it off, and he's like, yeah, I'll just wipe down a little bit, and he's like good to go. But yeah, you end up printing a lot faster on a resin printer if you're printing a lot of things that aren't super tall. Oh, yes, if it's okay for you to take tomorrow and Friday off. Oh, nice. Okay, sweet. Light umber and dark golden brown are real close to each other. Yeah, it's like all their ivories. They have like 4 ivories that are real close to each other. Hold on. Dark golden brown and light umber. Yeah, they're okay. They're pretty decently close. They're 2 totally different shades. What are you talking about, Big Papa? Totally different shades. Whereas we have these 3 colors. Look at these 3 colors. These are three totally different colors, guys. There we go. I can throw some more in there. Here. Shades of ivory. There's a yellow in there. There's another yellow. All different colors. Okay, these 2 I can kind of see. But yeah, when you get down to like these 3, are these like 4. It's pretty funny. How dare you ask? So we got ivory, bone, dark ivory, and olive flesh. 4 different colors. I don't even know what order I had them on here. And then these 3. This is bright ivory and bright pale yellow. Those colors are near identical. And then this is just pale yellow. So, favorite PA gold to this day is PA bronze. Yeah, yeah. Yes, Ninja, we'll make another ivory. all the signature series makers are like, but do you have this shade of ivory? Okay, so I'm really happy with the decision to pull all the metallics off of her. So no metallics on wood elves. Alright, that's rule number 1. No metallics. Rule number 2. Green or brown with every color on the mini. How's that for rule number 2? An eye for an ivory. That's right, that's the color. Yep. Yeah, it's what Ivory. Their original colors. Some of them had these little like secondary names. So this one is I for an Ivory. You have there's Agent Orange. Personal favorite here. Personal favorite. Pants Blue. Because you know the movie. Hold on. What there's some good ones here. There's green. Soylent Green. That's a good one. What are some other ones? There are a couple others, right? It was like their basic colors. Yeah, what are some? I don't remember if there were other ones. Maybe that was it. Was that it? That might be it. It was like the colors with only one name. So a lot of them that just had one name on them, but then like purple doesn't. So yeah, I don't know. They stopped doing it, which is a little sad because it was kind of fun little like little references and stuff, but we're just kind of in their opening sets. Those are the ones that got approved, yeah. Oh, you got approved. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Sweet. Which drive has to use? I use the navy gray. That's my preference. Hey, Aspen of Ocean, welcome in. Yeah, the ABS like Utini, yeah. What is going on? Hey, Sotor. It's Sotor. What's going on, Sotor? That's like kind of Star Wars The Old Republic. Soder. How you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in. How are you today? How was your stream? I am painting this wood elf, and we're just chatting about random things. We were talking about Total War earlier. Big Total War fan. Really pumped for some Warhammer 40k Total War, among other things. There's lots to be excited about as a Total War fan, but yeah, what were you up to? What was your stream? What's going on? Thank you for the follow and welcome in. Welcome in, guys. Just chilling and painting a wood elf. And enjoying this a lot. I love these wood elf minis. They're some of my favorite minis GW ever put out. Were this like wood elf line. And I'm hearing any old world players here. I'm hearing that this summer there's going to be a new like starter set that comes out, and it'll be wood elves and tomb kings with new models for both in the set this coming summer. So we'll see. We will see. You're painting a salamander captain. Oh, sweet. Sweet. The Gravis captain's a great mini. Excuse me. Yeah. Sorry, hold on. What was the question? Yeah, it is ABS like. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, so wood elves are possibly getting new minis, which is necessary. Like they have more metal models and less plastic than I think every army that's like an updated army in the old world. So they could definitely use some more plastic minis, but yeah. So I'm kind of two minds of it. Like obviously I want new wood elf minis, right? I think it'd be cool. That'd be a time to collect some wood elves, but Also, like, I love these old minis. And I'd hate to see them go. €1 per kilo. Yeah. After this army, I'm doing either Bretonnians or Old World Orcs. Haven't picked up. Oh, sweet. Both are really cool. Bretonnians are a little toxic, but that's alright. I beat Bretonnians last time I played him in the tournament I played in, so I don't feel so bad about him now. But they are cool. An army of Cav. Lots of individuality on your minis. Very cool theme, like knights and all that stuff is really cool. Just pure Cav army is a fun idea. So lots of good stuff you can do with that. Go walk the dogs. Yeah, no problem, Aspen. Thank you so much for the raid. And guys, go give Aspen of Ocean a follow if you can. It's completely free to follow another streamer, and you might find that they stream games you like, or you know, his Aspen paints salamanders. So if you're a fan of salamanders, then might be the stream to check out. We're just starting highlights on this mini. But yeah, some new plastic characters for Wood Elves would be nice. I don't necessarily think they need to update like the Glade Guard. I really don't like the Eternal Guard minis. I like the old metal ones, and I liked their vibe a lot more than just elves with spears and shields that they do now. But yeah, I don't know. I love the Glade Riders. They're some of my favorite minis they have. You guys want to know a secret for buying stuff, making sure things are in stock when you want to buy minis? There's a secret to this. There's a trick. Your hero models would be great. Yeah. New Wild Riders. I kind of like the Wild Riders, but I've never messed with the plastic Wild Riders, so I don't know. Maybe they look terrible in person. I think they look pretty good though. The putting them on reindeer were a little bit of a choice, but I remember the old metal ones that were on horseback that they had with this update that were really cool. But all right, here is all the old metal ones. Yeah, no, they have plastic ones. Yeah, they were updated in like 8th edition. I think they got those plastic ones with the Sisters of the Thorn. It's like a dual kit. All right, so a trick to getting making sure that the army you collect is always in stock. All right, it's harder for some games than others, but the general idea is you play a faction that's really bad in the game. So you follow the meta, you know, you listen to what people are saying, the tournament data, and you find the army that's on the absolute like rock bottom. Mainly, Imperial Fists are a really good one to collect because they're always on the bottom. But if you're talking Space Marines, but in general, factions that are like not doing good in like whatever meta there is for the game, they're gonna have more minis in stock than anything else. You know it's true, Zen. Don't even. Trying to get more Dark Eldar players. Yeah. No, I don't know. I want them to be in stock in case I were to collect them. Dark Eldar have one dude that plays them really well and holds up their entire meta and gets them constantly getting nerfed so no one else can play them, so no one collects them. Vicious cycle. They still have Lysanders in stock. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. That's why games like the Horus Heresy are perpetually out of stock with everything. Because all of the legions are using the same minis at this point, the same plastic minis right now. So you can't pick a bad faction and then just have minis in stock. At least as far as the Astartes factions are concerned. Head out for the day. Have a great one. Yeah. All right. Sweet. Patreon hangout tonight. Yep. For any paid Patreon members, we got our hangout this evening. Yeah, I'm still recovering from being sick a little bit, so my voice is still a little messed up, but we'll get better. It'll happen. These sinus things, man. I'd almost rather just have like a stomach virus that I get for like 2 days and I'm done. And I'm good to go. Than like these sinus things that just stick around for like 2 weeks. I see what it did. Breathe through my nose. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. No love for the swole-armed emperor. Yeah. Gene Stealer cult's just been catching nerfs every time, right? Yeah, Gene Stealer cult's a really good faction if you want to just collect minis. I would not recommend playing Gene Stealer cults, mainly because you need like 800 minis, and they all take forever to paint. There's no way to just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna paint my Gene Stealer cults real simple and like here's how I do it. It just doesn't happen. They have too many things going on the minis. But you'll find Gene Stealer cult stuff in stock a lot. The new there's some good new Votan minis, yeah. I'm not usually the biggest fan of the Votan in general. I like the mole launcher artillery thing. The underground artillery is really cool. I wish they leaned into that type of stuff more with the Votan, instead of just being like weird retro futuristic humans. I wish they did more like dwarf themed things, which, you know, that's just me being a fantasy fan, I guess, but okay, those little branches. The robot guys, yeah. They look like big space marines. I painted some of those a few weeks ago. Alright, let's try. Probably not on for a whole lot longer, but let's try this green. I'll show you guys. Talk about the green. So we use 2 colors. So I based all these little leaves around this mini, like up in her hair and on her cloaks there and everything. It's all based in this black green. So what I'm going to use is this bright yellow green, and we're going to start mixing these colors, and you'll see how it makes this really lovely, like, vibrant green color as you mix it. So it's very nice. So we start with them like 50-50. A little more on the bright yellow green side. Rifle. Okay, you want to, sorry. Yeah, I was just getting ready to do it. I was like, I know Big Papa wanted to see this. So the first part here, and I'll show you. So this is the color that we're looking at, with it being like 50-50. So there you go. That's the color. When you add more of that bright green into it, it just gets more vibrant. Just going for like 18 shades of green on this mini. Actually, I'll pick them when Total War comes out. Oh man, Total War 40k. My first faction choice is going to be the Imperial Guard, Astra Militarum. But like I said earlier, we were talking about this a bunch earlier. I'm a 35-year-old man who used to watch World War II documentaries nonstop as a kid. So like, I was destined to become an Imperial Guard fan in 40k. But making your own Space Marine chapter is definitely going to be a thing. But also making your own Guard regiment is going to be incredible. So I'm just like, I'm like so all in on this game. Playing as the others, I definitely will. And you know, not to make too many promises, but man, I want to stream so much of this game. The Painting Dad's about to become the Total War Dad. Yeah, I'm a huge Total War fan. And anyways, who's been here the past like week, I streamed a Warhammer Total War campaign. And as I was recovering from my sickness, playing as Tamarcon, so spreading plagues in Total War, trying to make myself feel better. Okay, let's mix our next bit of bright neutral green here. Good tone for this color, so we put this next to it. It's a little bright. Darken that down just a little bit. There we go. Right in between there. Got my soulstone ready to travel the web. Yeah. You know, there was going to be multiplayer campaigns in this game, too. Yeah, it's a really good mix of green. So I'm adding a bit to the highlights here on the leaves. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that pure bright yellow green, and I'm just going to get like a little edge highlight on all these leaves, just to make them a little more vibrant. So it's nothing too crazy. And this color works really well on like a large scale. So if I were to like paint her whole like cloak with this color, you'd be able to see it a lot better. You know, I'm painting little leaves right now, but yeah, playing a Space Marine and Imperial Guard campaign like cooperatively would be really cool. Just like defenders of the Imperium Defenders of Humanity. I also wonder if at launch you'll be able to play a multiplayer campaign with both players playing the same faction. Because if they're doing a more sandbox, create your own chapter, your own regiment, your own craft world, I imagine you'll be able to have multiple people in the same faction. It was not something you were able to do at the launch of Total War Warhammer. And even now, you kind of get in each other's way if you pick the same race. Run a co-op campaign. Okay. Red, yellow, green. They have a craft world in that view for Eldar, or Space Hulk or something for orcs. The trailer, you know the scene from Orbit showing the drop pod deployments? Yeah, they talked about it. Big Papa. So every faction's going to have ways to rapidly deploy on planets. I think the Guard will be the worst at it. But Eldar, they did an interview yesterday, like a QA interview, it was yesterday. But Eldar, you will be based on a craft world. I think that's kind of off map. So the craft world just kind of sits in the webway. And you deploy onto planets via warp gates or webway gates. So that's just kind of how you deploy onto planets as Eldar. I imagine orcs will have a lot of slinging meteors at planets will be a thing. Yeah, so the Eldar aren't based on worlds. And they don't conquer planets. That's not how they work. At least from the initial explanation. The way the Eldar campaign works is that you basically there will be cataclysmic events, and your job will be to prevent them or stop them. And so you're really working around events and things going on in the galaxy that you are trying to make right. And to me, that hints that chaos will be in the game from the outset, even if they're not necessarily playable on day one, but that they're going to be chaos will be in the game, and probably will have basic rosters that you fight against and everything, and probably will be the first race DLC will be a generic Chaos Space Marine like Black Legion faction. Yeah, it'll be good. It's gonna be really good. Okay, I am very happy with this mini. I want to see. Let's just try this real quick. Start highlighting some of the skin here. You stop the Imperium from killing someone in order to make sure the craft world get ice cream 10,000 years in the future. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how it works, right? They showed off concept art yesterday during that QA too. They have concept art of Avatar of Cain, Howling Banshees, Swooping Hawks, Warp Spiders, Dark Reapers. So I am sure the rosters in the game at launch will not be complete. There will be missing units. So just be ready for that. There's probably going to be DLCs for factions to get new units and units that come out and everything. But the stuff they have shown, the concept art they've shown, it seems like they have a lot planned. I think this will be it for the day then. Come into our time. I had a lot of fun today though, guys. In that paycheck. All right, Curb, you have a great one. Thank you again so much, and hopefully I will see you soon. If you're on the Discord, I will post a schedule of my stream schedule for the next couple weeks. I'll let you guys know what's going on, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I had a great day today. Thank you guys. It's been a really nice stream. It's been fun to finally just like sit and talk about Total War 40K, and anytime you guys have questions about like, you know, how are they going to do this, how are they going to do this, or like, this is my idea, like, please bring them to me, let's talk about them. Because this is another one of those like absolute dream games, and I am excited, really excited. Man, I had a lot of fun painting this mini. I'm going to continue this mini, probably some tonight. And maybe next time I stream, which will be Sunday, will be my next stream, guys. I will not be on tomorrow or Friday due to other stuff going on. But I will be on.
To thank you for allowing me back into your home.
We'll be on Sunday. Maybe Sunday. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Holiday stuff is crazy. Family stuff is crazy. But we'll make it work. I'll be streaming. Okay. Red Crusader, thank you for the follow. Oh, Peachy Tips. Is that Peachy? Oh my goodness. Welcome in, everybody. I was just getting ready to jump off, but it's okay. We're painting a wood elf. What's going on, Peachy? How you guys doing? Welcome in. Space Wolf Dazzle. There's the Space Wolf player of the day. Always Space Wolf players. I am a Thousand Suns player through and through, but welcome in. Across the Pond, how you doing? Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Spindleshanks, welcome. Welcome. Peachy, it's alright, yeah, it happens all the time. You know, people get off at even hours, right? So if everybody, you know, people getting off at 2 p.m. or what, it's 2 p.m. here, like that's what it's getting off to spend time with the kid. Yeah, I understand. And I'm glad there's another painting down here. Wow, thanks for the follows, guys. I was painting this Wood Elf Spellsinger. I'll show you guys here. This is progress on the Spellsinger. I did all the base colors. I got a couple washes and started with a few highlights, but do love this. 7 p.m. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, for the UK time zone. But yeah, my son will be getting off the bus here in a couple hours. We got errands to run. I cook dinner in the house. I love to cook, but I got dinner to prep and we'll start doing things. But
first of all,
I got Peachy Tips to follow. It's like another Infinity Stone, right? That's what I do with the big names here coming in. It's going into the Infinity Gauntlet of follows from you famous people. Yeah, this is a new Wood Elf. This isn't classic. This is a new mini. This thing came out in like 2005 or 2006. I can't remember the specific year. I was like 5 years ago, man. 5 years ago. Imagine having a family. Yeah. Great to see everyone. Yeah. Come hang out in the Discord. Thanks, Big Papa, for shouting that out, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, so my whole thing, I'll tell you guys about this, and then I'll call it for the day. But I play vampire counts in the old world. I love my vampire counts army. I have like 3,000 points ish painted. I could add more. Blah blah blah. Love vampire counts. I was thinking of having a secondary army. I want a good guy army. Quote unquote good guy army. I painted some Empire minis, and I was like, I'm gonna paint a regiment of like Empire halberdiers, and see if I like them. And it's been pretty miserable. I'm gonna be honest. I got that out of my system. I don't really want to paint a whole army of Empire. It's a lot. That's fine. Figured I'd do the same thing with Wood Elves. I'm painting this Wood Elf Spellsinger. It's not exactly a regiment of minis or anything, but I am having a lot of fun painting this Wood Elf. So this one might be one I continue. I did have a Wood Elf army all the way back in like 2006 when they got their update, back in 6th edition. And I still have the minis. So what I'll do is I'll probably strip those down and repaint them. And you got an extra collection. Oh, dang. Yeah, Big Papa, he has got a huge Wood Elf collection. Yeah. But, yeah, if I end up repainting them and collecting Wood Elves, I think it'd be really cool. And I know in the game, they're kind of struggling, which is fine. Like, I'm fine to challenge myself with a really difficult army to play, but I know there's rumors about them being in the updated starter set for the old world this coming summer, and maybe an FAQ to help them out a little bit. But I just want to run a bunch of archers. I want to sit in the flanks of the enemy and just shoot them when they can't charge me. That's the goal. Aside for now, we're hoping to get a boost in the FAQ. Yeah. I mean, they don't need to be the most powerful thing. I don't want cheesy combos. I want, like, infantry that's cheap enough to field a bunch of them. And I'm cool with that. I want war dancers that can put out decent damage. Yeah, things like that. Yeah. Not to be punished for not standing next to a wood kind of thing. Which, I mean, they are wood elves, so I get it. But, yeah. I'm happy with this mini so far. I'm enjoying the color scheme I got. I need to highlight a lot of these greens. But we're starting on it. Continue on it later. What things actually work? Yeah, they don't for a lot of things. That's right. Yeah, like Orion. Yeah, the Talzin rules, right, are kind of weird. That whole army, and their infantry are just so expensive. They're so expensive. Like 11 points for a Glade Guard with like no magic arrows. And the magic arrows are expensive and got nerfed, and like just they're. It seems like they got punished. Like they have a lot of like a lot of qualifiers to use a lot of their abilities that a lot of armies don't have. So yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff like that. Well, guys, here's what's gonna happen. Is he taking a break? No. Hold on. Did he go on break? He probably just got on break. Okay. Well, we'll find someone else. This is a good one. This is a great streamer. Okay. We are going to raid out. That's what we're going to do. Blood Bowl's so rad. Yeah, Blood Bowl looks like fun. I have never played Blood Bowl. I would love to play Blood Bowl. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for coming to hang out today. I really appreciate it. We're going to raid out, but man, I appreciate all the support. We had two huge raids today. Met some great people. I'm going to have a weird schedule for the next couple weeks because holidays and stuff. So if you guys are interested in catching a stream, hanging out while I paint, just painting with me, painting alongside or whatever, head to the Discord. I'm going to post a schedule for the next couple weeks and give some ideas on when I'm going to be streaming. And I'd love to have you guys come and hang out and talk video games, Total War especially. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped for Total War. But yeah, Old World, Heresy 40k. You want to talk Age of Sigmar, it's cool. I don't play Age of Sigmar, but all that stuff, great stuff, and I love it. But we are going to raid the one and only Chris Rose Hobbyist. Awesome guy, super nice guy. He's a great painter. Yeah, I recommend, guys, just give him a follow and say hi. That's all I ask. You don't have to do anything else. If you lurk and hang out and talk with them more, that's great. Give him a follow and say hi. It's completely free, and it shows how great of a community we can be. All right, guys. But you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, everybody.